What's Gucci YouTube? It's your boy Black Shot 3 Long Face, getting it by D, and we back. Still black with some more fireboards, anime, manga content. Now we're going to the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Smash the like button, share the video with your friends, and let's hop right into the business because it's time to start talking about that realness. You feels me? Okay, so with the Boruto manga slowly reaching that 100 chapter mark, and I'm saying it like it's gonna be anytime soon. We got over a year until we get to that point, but we've come to a point where the story has been pretty deep in its contents and the plot and the developments so far, with a lot yet to come. And we understand there was years ago where I believe it was Kakashi who stated, or actually it was Ikumoto who stated in an interview, that we should be able to keep our eye out for the reasoning behind Kakashi's unappearance in the Boruto manga, basically stating shouldn't be considering that like a weird notion, whereas like the anime have showed him time and time again constantly, and we already understand that they parallel with different paths going through the story, ultimately reaching at one endpoint. Kakashi has not been shown one single time at all, not even a sketch, bro, on a fan page or something. In the Boruto manga, he has not been shown, and one thing that Ikumoto did say is that there was a specific or a particular reason for that. Now, not to just basically drag on the whole purpose or the point of this video, but we do understand that even again with the announcement of last year's Jump Festa, we know that 2 novels will be becoming adapted into the Boruto manga by the end of this year. So in the midst of everything we have going on right now, we still understand that the contents from the Konoha, I'm not even sure if it's Konoha Shiden novel or Konoha something, but it's the Konoha Day novel or something like that. Whereas we already went through that in the anime. We see, you know, like Chocho and Choji spending their day together, the parent and child day episodes with Sasuke, Sarada, you know, Naruto with Himawari, Boruto trying to train and shit like that. All of those little episodes, I think it was about 3 episodes, maybe 4, correct me if I'm wrong, but that will be becoming adapted into the manga, I know, right? But, and then also on top of that, we have the Sasuke Retsuden novel. Now this is how you guys could say like, all right, well, what does any of this have to do with my nigga Kakashi? Now with the Retsuden novel, particularly for Sasuke's Retsuden novel, yes, it focuses on, it hones in on a mission that both Sasuke and Sakura undergo. Now the whole point of the Retsuden novels is a trilogy. You can't read one without the other until you get the full story. So my whole thing is that if they're going to be adapting the Retsuden novel into the manga, what's to say that they will be leaving out, like I said, it's a trilogy. So you have Naruto Retsuden, Sasuke Retsuden, and Kakashi Retsuden. Yeah, so, and it's all building off of each story. I'm not exactly sure how the exact details go down in the story. However, we understand the main basis of the issue and the main basis of the problem throughout the main plot points in all of those stories. And it's been circling around the community for years, which is that Naruto is dying of a chakra illness. Now, in the previous times before Ishiki Battle even came to us in manga format, we thought and we understood, okay, maybe it's possibly because of Kurama, or somehow he's been in Jinchuriki too long, because it's explained in the rest of the novels that the Sage of Six Paths actually suffered from the same sickness that Naruto is dying from, and he was able to come across a cure with all of these crazy means. I'm not exactly sure how they came across a cure, but I do know it includes substances from like a particular a moon rock or something like that, and all these other things. The whole point of this rest of the novels is we have Sasuke and Sakura going on a long mission in order to find this cure for Naruto's sickness, and then we also have Kakashi on his own separate mission, which is in the Kakashi rest of the novels, going to a whole separate kingdom to find anything he can find. As all of this just to help Naruto and to cure Naruto. Kakashi in his novels made actually some real big discoveries. I'm not exactly sure who was it that was able to figure out, okay, maybe the cure will be linked to the Sage of Six Paths, or however the Sage of Six Paths does things like that, exactly whether it is Sasuke's Retsuden novel or Kakashi's Retsuden novel, they were able to come across the cure. However, each of their missions had very serious consequences for all of the actions that were taking place. And something that I'm also, just a side note, interested to see is that in the novel, obviously Sasuke can do things certainly that he does with his Rinnegan in the novels. There's a whole lot of big fights, and for those of y'all who want more details on the novels in general, this is not even the place to come looking for all that. Be better off going to Naruto Explained, because that's my man's forte over there. However, in the novels, Sasuke does things and, you know, he's participating in things and using jutsus and powers and abilities that we obviously can link to his Rinnegan. We already understand that shit is Rinnegan. No pun intended, I ain't never say that shit again. Like, it's not here no more, so I'm really interested to see how they're gonna go about that part. However, Naruto dying of a chakra illness is a very huge gateway just to say, okay, we're gonna include Kakashi's story in the shit that we already seen that happened in the novel. For those of people who ever read the novel, it's like, all right, it's not anything that's crazy new, whereas we understand at the end of the day it's still going to be revolving around Naruto, and I don't really think that's going to be the case. And I really can see a situation where, like I said, I don't understand exactly how the novels ended, but I do know that Naruto's life was put in danger to the point where, you know, he had to be bed rested at some point where he couldn't be doing too much. It's like, bro, you really, like, you can't extend yourself too much. And now that we have the confirmation that Naruto doesn't have Kurama at this point, there's going to be drastic changes. I don't want to say like too much, but some real changes into how everybody is going about their approach with the situation. Now in Kakashi's case, he has not been in the Boruto manga at all. He has been stated to have a very important role, and we already understand the history of Konoha and their swapping out of Hokage, one coming back, one leaving, one dying, all dying actually, you know what I'm saying? So it's a very, you know, pattern like history in the Hidden Leaf Village era, especially when it comes to the position as Hokage in a situation where Naruto is no longer in control or have the hopes and best interests of everybody else around him, where it's like everybody can depend. All right, we got that nigga Naruto. It's that nigga, that's the orange Hokage. Fuck you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Like, we ain't about to worry about nothing. You feel me? So at this point, we already see Naruto struggling with the idea of no longer being the strongest alive, where people are questioning him and doubting him. Is like, can you continue to do this? Can you continue to do that? You know what I'm saying? You got to understand, you don't have Kurama. Are you still fit to be Hokage? Not nobody actually putting it out there in his face. But all of these questions ultimately lead into that one dynamic question is like, am I still fit to be Hokage? Am I still fit to lead the village as I am now? Or is there something more that I can do? We already understand Naruto wasn't always the, all right, you know what I'm saying, let's figure out this political standpoint, art, bookwork, paperwork, all that type of shit. That was more Shikamaru's forte. However, Naruto did indulge himself hard enough to be able to say, all right, I'm gonna be able to take care of paperwork. I'm gonna be able to have to do this because at the end of the day, it's my responsibility as a Hokage. It was more so on some shit like, this nigga's the strongest motherfucker out here. So at the end of the day, if he's dumb or not, he's gonna be Hokage. Naruto, now that he has put in a position, especially in the rest of the novels, he's going to be sick. He no longer has Kurama. He's not as strong as he once were. Being smart was never his forte. At this point, we're going to be looking at, all right, Hokage position might be a little shaky now. The only thing I can see holding Naruto out is his grit and determination, but still accepting the fact, okay, a return for Kakashi as Hokage, I can see that being a very significant role, to the point where Ikamoto will mention it in an interview, and he hasn't even been shown once in the motherfucking manga. And it's like, okay, well, if he's returning Hokage, that just says like, well, what is the well-being of this nigga Naruto at that point? And I can see them transitioning into that once we get to the rest of the novels by the end of the year, by the end of 2022. Will that be the time, by the time that Kakashi debuts in the Boruto manga? I do not know. However, Kakashi returned as the 6th Hokage, meaning that once Naruto steps down, and I believe that's what it will be, he will be stepped down or forced to step down in some type of position such as that, whether it be because of the chakra illness that he will be suffering from, or whether it be because the political disruption that came with the loss of both him and Sasuke's powers. However, Kakashi returning as the 6th Hokage in order to keep that balance and that stability, being that it was Kakashi and Naruto's Hokage's run that put the Leaf Village where it's at right now, with, you know, Naruto ultimately taking over the mantle and basically pushing it further upon expansion compared to what Kakashi done. But it was Kakashi who kicked it off after the 4th Great Ninja War, so he would be the best candidate in order to step up versus looking for an 8th Hokage possibly, you know, or a step in like a Danzo, whereas, you know, Shikamaru or even Sakura, because we know those are the next 2 candidates for the 8th Hokage, will be stepping up versus just saying, all right, you know, my nigga Kakashi, bring him back, folks, you talking about it, let's see where we at with it. I want to see how they're going to be going about adapting this Sasuke Resident novel, and if they're actually going to be trying to find a way to include Kakashi in the Boruto manga by the time the year ends, which is by the time we get to the Sasuke Resident. I have no doubt that we will be seeing Kakashi. I'm not exactly sure the details that go down in the manga specifically. However, his role that he plays in the overall story of of the trilogy of the Retsuden novels is too big of a part for them to adapt the entire rest of the novel and not have Kakashi at least motherfucking name drop. You know, I don't even think this nigga's name was written in the Boruto manga. But returning as the 6th Hokage, like, I think that's the plan that they got for my mans. Until my next video though, holla at your boy. I'ma holla at y'all. Let me know your thoughts below on Kakashi as a character. How do y'all feel like his significance will be played in the Boruto verse in the time to come? Do y'all believe he will come back as the 6th Hokage, or do y'all believe Igimoto got different plans for my mans? Till my next video, holla at your boy. I'ma holla at y'all. Black shit out. Yes, sir.
Hey, can we take a trip to the sky? Show them that our limits too high. Cocoa butter hips on the west side. She said